We're going to factor by doing slide and divide. Number one, and I always go through these steps to do my checking to make sure I don't miss anything. Number one is GCF. GCF is greatest common factor. So what I need to look at is I look at the smallest coefficient. The smallest one is 4. Does 4 go into 20? Yeah, 20 divided by 4 is 5. Does 4 go into 24? Yes, they go in evenly. So my GCF is 4. So now I have to divide 4 out of each term. Okay, that's why we spent our first day doing GCF. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I have x squared. 20 divided by 4, 5x. Negative 24 divided by 4, negative 6. Step 2 is slide. Now this is where people get confused. You only slide if there's a number right here in front of the x squared. After I pulled out the GCF, is there a number there now? I don't even have to do this step. So what I can go right to is the factoring. See, what you're trying to do is move, what we're doing is we're changing our equation around so we just have x squareds. Because, and no number in front of it. Because if we do, x squared always splits up as x and x. Okay? Now, take the last number back here. I need the factors of negative 6. Now remember, you can go y equals negative 6 divided by x. Some of the numbers are going to get bigger in a little bit, so we will use the calculator. But you put that in there, and then you get a list of your numbers. Remember, you're always going to get 0 and error because you can't divide by 0. Okay? So you just don't worry about 0. But you've got 1, and your calculator is going to tell you negative 6, 2 and negative 3, 3 and negative 2. And you're like, how are you coming up with that? Okay, well, 1, I'm just a genius. But 2, and I've done it 5 billion times today. 3, it's in the calculator, so you can just look at that. And 4, it gives you a decimal. I don't care about the decimal. 5 gives me a decimal. Nice straight line. Let's try and turn my board. All right. And 6 and negative 1. When I have my factors, what am I trying to do with my factors? You're trying to get them to add up together to get this middle term. So when I add 1 and negative 6, it gives me negative 5. When I add this, I get negative 1. As I go down, look, 6 plus negative 1 is 5. These are the factors I need. So now I'm going to put those factors in here. Plus 6 minus 1. The last step was the divide. But here's the deal. If you don't slide, you don't divide. Okay? There's nothing else I need to do. This is my answer. See, in our next unit, you're going to figure out what to do with this. Okay? And the better you can do with factor, the easier your next unit will be, okay? And then remember you can put this into y1 and y2 to check your answer. Let's try number 2. If you're at home, you can pause the video and come back and see how you did. Those of you in my class, as I go through and do this, if you understand how to do it, you can keep working on the other problems. Okay, and just kind of look back and forth and see if you get lost, you can look and see what I'm doing on my problems. Okay, so just don't feel like you have to stay. But if you don't understand, slide and divide, stay with me, and we'll go through the problems. Does that make sense? All right, step 1. Thanks, Jelani. You're famous now. I gave you a shout out. All right, GCF. First thing I do is I look and see I've got the smallest number of a 9. Does 9 go into 21? No. Well, but there's another number that goes into 9. What else goes into 9? 3. Does 3 go into 21? Yeah. Does 3 go into 30? Yeah. So my GCF is 3. So you're going to divide out your GCF out of each term. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I have 3x squared. Negative 21 divided by 3, negative 7x. Negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. Okay, so now step 2. Slide to the right. Okay. So we're going to slide. What am I sliding? Don't worry about that GCF. I'm not worried about that. The number in front of the x squared, which is a 3, I'm going to slide that to the back because I need just an x squared. So keep your GCF there. Now, when I slide the 3 back here, it gives me x squared minus 7x, and you take 3 times negative 10 and get negative 30. Okay, so all we're doing is multiplying that. Now, the third one was the factor. Okay, so, meaning I'm going to put it into 2 parentheses right here. I need the factors of that last term right there, negative 30. Okay, so if I go in my handy dandy calculator and go in there, put negative 30 divided by x. Second graph. All right, I need to add these numbers up, and I'm looking for the one that adds up to give me negative 7. Well, this one gives me negative 29, negative 13, negative 7. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, I've got 3 and negative 10. Whoop. Because if I take 3 plus negative 10, that gives me negative 7 when you add them together. So now I'm going to put in there x squared splits up x and x. And I've got plus 3 and minus 10. Now, if you slide, you must, you must divide. Now, people go, well, what am I dividing by? What number did you slide? You slid the 3. I'm going to divide by 3. You know one question people ask me? Does a 3 have to go here and the negative 10 here? It can go any order. You could have put the negative 10 in the first parenthesis. That doesn't make a difference. Okay, so 3 parentheses, x. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it's plus 1. Now, 10 divided by 3, does that work out evenly? So I take this 3 and I put it in front of the x. 3x minus 10. So now you have your original problem to put in y1, what you believe the answer is, but look what I'm circling. It's everything I'm circling to put into y2. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the right answer. Okay, let me see if I can raise that up a little bit. All right. Number 3. Let me tell you right now. See how it just says x squared right there? You should say, woo, they gave me an easy one. Because if it's just x squared, I don't have to look for a GCF. I don't have to slide because there ain't anything to slide, right? There has to be a number in front of the x squared to do that. So when it's just x squared, we split it up into parentheses. X squared splits up as x and x. Now, take the last number. What are the factors of 5? 1 and 5, and negative 1 and negative 5. When I add them up, I need them to be the middle term right here, the b, the 6. So this is 6, and this is negative 6. So I need these factors right here. Plus 1, plus 5. I don't have to divide by anything because I didn't slide. Here's the next one. Try this one. Step 1 was GCF. Step 2 was slide, but that only works if there's a number in front of your x squared. There's not a number. This is one of those nice ones that you're like, yes, give me lots of these. I'll make 100. Right, Eli? X squared splits up as how? X and X. All right. I need the last number right here. I need the factors of 21. Again, you can put them in the calculator and look at them. Go to y equals, put 21 divided by x. So let me see. 21 divided by x, second graph. I'm looking for the factors that add up together to give me negative 10. The thing is that 3 and 7 give me positive 10, right? If you would go up the other way, you'll find your negative numbers. There's negative 3 and negative 7. When you add those together, it gives you negative 10. So you just put those bad boys in your parentheses. Oh, why did I write a 4? Dondra, quit telling me to write a 4. I'm just kidding. That's your answer. Okay. Let's try 5. What did I tell you was step 1? GCF. Okay, so I look at the smallest number, 3. Does 3 go into 42? And if you don't know, go 42 divided by 3. What do you get? 14. What's 147 divided by 3? 49. So you just take that number and divide it and see if it works. So my GCF is 3. So I divided all of it by 3, which is yay, because it gives me just an x squared. That makes it easy. So then this was plus, what'd you tell me, 14? Yeah. 14x plus 49. All right, so step 2 was to slide. But remember, I only slide if is there a number in front of my x squared now? So I don't have to slide. You're like, yay, less work. Good thing. So now I factor. So I've got my 3, and I split it up. X squared splits up as x and x. All right, you need the factors of 49. So when you put the 49 divided by x in the calculator, press second graph, you're looking for the factors that add up together to give you 14. A positive 14, which is going to be 7 and 7. So it's going to be plus 7, plus 7. The last step is to divide. But remember what I told you. If you don't slide, you don't get to divide. There's nothing else we have to do. This is it. This is your answer. ¿Entienden? Some of you understand? All right, here's the next one. You try this one. All right, step 1 is your GCF. Does 7 go into 47 or 7 into 30? No. And there's no other factors of 7 besides 7. So there's no GCF, so now we go straight to slide. What does slide mean? Guys, what we're trying to do is get x squared so that the x squared is by itself. That's why we're sliding. Okay? So I'm going to take this 7 and slide it back here. That means I'm going to take 7 times 30. So let's see. I got to leave the plus 47x. 7 times 30 is 210. We are multiplying the first and the last number. That's what slide means. Now we're going to go and factor. So that means I'm going to break it up into 2 parentheses. X squared is always going to go x and x is what we're going to do. Now, we need the factors of 210. No, I don't know those off the top of my head. I do have to go in here to the handy dandy calculator and put 210 divided by x. Second graph. I'm trying to find the ones that add up together to give me 47. There it is. 5 and 42 give me 47. So my factors are 5 and 42, because 5 times 42 gives me 210. When I add them together, it gives me 47. Let me tell you something. You know when we did the box, I'm going to talk about why we add in just a second. So I'm going to have x plus 5, nice plus, and x plus 42. Now, I told you that if you slide, what do you have to do? You have to divide. What number did we slide? We slid the 7. So that's what I've got to divide each of these numbers by. Now, does 5 divided by 7, does that work out evenly? Nope. So I'm going to move the 7 up here. 7x plus 5. What's 42 divided by 7? 6. I already wrote it in there. Guys, the reason why you add those factors, what did we do when we were multiplying? What did we do with the numbers in these two boxes? We added them. Those were both the x's, right? That's why we're adding this, because that's giving me my x term. All right, number 7. Step 1. Step 1 is GCF. Does 7 go into 32? No. No GCF. 2. I need to slide. So take the number that's in front of the x squared, take this 7, and let's multiply it. Let's put it to the back. So that I only have x squared plus 32x. That stays the same. What's negative 15 times 7? What is it? Negative 105. Now I need to factor. Okay? So the reason I slid was so that I can split up x squared as x and x. I need the factors of negative 105. Well, see, back in my day, when the old people used to have to do this, we had to do this in our head. Negative 105. I did? I told you that yesterday? Well, I'm just telling you I'm mad because you guys have all these fancy things. All right. Now, I'm not that old. Okay, you pass. All right, here we go. I need the factors that add up together to give me 32. Well, okay, see this. Look, see 3 and negative 35? 3 and negative 35, when you add those together, what do you get? Negative 32, right? So let's switch the signs. Negative 3 and positive 35. That'll give me a positive 32. That's what I need right here. So I'm going to put minus 3 and plus 35. When you slide, you must divide. Oh, sorry, I wrote 35. Thank you. Plus 32. All right, so you got to divide by the number. We slid 7. Shalani, why are you confusing me? Dang, I told you I was 82. I'm old. All right. All right, now we divide by 7, right? Did I get it right yet? Yes? All right. Does 3 divided by 7, does that work out evenly? No. So put that 7 in front of the x. 7x minus 3. Does 35 divided by 7 work out? It's 5. So it's x plus 5. And that's your answer. All of these right there. These. All right, let's go to number 8. Again, if you're on the video, you can pause it. But right here, step 1 is what? Find the GCF. Does 5 go into 32? No. 2, I need to slide to the right. So, take the number in front of x squared. Move it to the right. So I get x squared minus 32x. Oh, y'all got to help me. What's 64 times 5? 320? Okay. All right, so now that I do this, I have to factor, right? So you've got to find, I've got x squared split up as x and x. Remember, find the factors of that last term. So in y equals, put negative 320 divided by x. So, and you can find the factors by hand. I just don't feel like writing all those out because that's a lot of them. Or we used to have to guess and check. All right. So when I do this, let me see. What did you say? Negative 8? Let's see. I've got 8 and negative 40, right? Okay, wait, but look. Yeah, it's negative 32. Yeah, it's 8 and negative 40, which is fine. As long as you have the same numbers, you just have to make sure you have the right sign. Okay? So now I'm going to have plus 8 minus 40. Here's what I think you guys are going to do. You're going to forget, and you're going to leave this like that. You cannot forget that when you slid, now you have to divide. What am I dividing? By what number? 5. Does 8 divided by 5, is that a whole number? No, so put the 5 in front of the x. What about 40 divided by 5? Yeah, buddy. X, oh, not plus 8, minus 8. Whoop, there it is. All right, look at this one. What did we say yesterday? When we're talking about area, and they want us to find the length and the width, what are we looking for when we find length and width? The factors, right? So I need to factor this right here. So I'm going to do the same steps. Step 1 is GCF. Is there a GCF? Is there a number in front of the x squared or the a squared? Nope. There's not a number in front of it, so I'm not even going to do any slide. I almost messed up that word, slide. All right, so I can factor it right here from the beginning. Even though it says a squared, you can treat it as a squared. It's the same as x. Split it up. I need the factors of 24. What does the factors of 24 need to add up to be? Negative 10. Well, you know, I've got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 6 and 4. If I add these two together, it gives me positive 10. Negative 6 and negative 4, yep. So I have minus 6 and minus 4. Do I have to divide? No, because I didn't slide. So now the question is, which one is my length and which is my width?
Length is A.
It don't matter. You could have it as this, or you could switch it around. You could have A minus 4 up there for the length. But then it's asking us for perimeter. Guys, if I have my rectangle and I've got A minus 6, A minus 4, label all your sides. How do you find perimeter? What do you have to do? Yeah, how many A's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4A. Then I have negative 6 and negative 4. Negative 4 and negative 6. That would be minus 20. Okay. Here's the next one. Find the area of a square table. What is the length of each side? Well, they only give me length because what's true about the sides of a square? They're all the same. So I know what's ever in my parentheses right here has to be exactly the same, right? Well, and you can do all the steps we did, but I don't have to do a GCF. I don't have to slide because look, it says n squared. So it just splits up as n and n. Now, didn't we say it had to be exactly the same? Okay, I need the factors of 64 that add up together to give me negative 16. What number multiplies by itself to give you 64? 8, isn't it? 8 and 8. Now, can it be is it a positive or is it a negative? What's my middle term? It's a negative, so it's got to be the negative 8s. All right. It says Josh is using the box to help him find the missing terms of his factor and his product. Fill in the 4 missing terms. Okay, let's think about this like when we were multiplying. Let's treat it like a puzzle. I see that right here is x squared. So out on the sides, x times what gives you x squared? X, so the x goes up here. Well, to fill in this top right-handed box, x times 7 is 7x. I should be able to fill out this last one out here. 7 times what gives me negative 35? Yeah, 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. Now, fill in this middle part right here. X times negative 5, negative 5x. The question was that people asked me was, which is the factors and which is the product? Remember, factors are what's on the outside. So I've got x minus 5 times x plus 7. My product is what's on the inside. So that's x squared. Put these two together. You have to add them. Plus 2x minus 35.